Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me you're ready. All right, welcome everybody. Here we are. It's showtime. Yeah, that's not original, is it? But anyway, welcome to the show. Here we are, episode 172 this week. I do appreciate you giving me your time as you do every week here on the show. It's great to be back home. If you were watching our Facebook, you know that Jennifer and I were down in North Carolina for a business trip and had the pleasure of seeing Donald Trump. Wow. Incredible, phenomenal. That's all I can say about that. We didn't get to meet him necessarily, but we learned lots from him. And he's just a guy. Like Jennifer says, you know what? It's totally different than what we expected, or she expected anyway. He's just a guy with a whole bunch of money, but he had some great knowledge to share, and we were very thankful for the opportunity. So thank you, Donald Trump, for sharing that with us. And we're just glad to be home, safe and sound, regardless of the weather. Anyway, it is what it is. I want to say congratulations to everybody involved with Hudson's Heart, which happened this past weekend down at the Polish Hall. Talking to Amber Oaks online, they don't even have the final count in yet, but so far over $12,000 raised for this family to help them with travel expenses, medical expenses, all that sort of stuff. They're still counting the money. And Mayor Mike Bradley even stopped by and made an appearance down there. So that's pretty awesome, I think. So congratulations to Amber Oaks and everybody and her family and everybody involved. I know that Amber and her family are very, very grateful for all the support that they've been given. So all the best to you, Amber, and your family, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you again soon. All right, Justice Film. I'm having trouble talking this week, but I'm not starting over. We're just going to do it anyway. The Justice Film Festival here in Sarnia is happening once again Saturday, February the 21st, down at the Sarnia Public Library Auditorium. You know, we talked about them a few weeks ago here. This is called Wild Thing, and this movie is trying to get us to reconnect our children and ourselves with nature. So that'll be happening at 7 o'clock on February the 21st. No charge, but they do accept donations. So check that out. Lots of cool things happening. All right, well, let's get out to the entertainment scene. Some exciting things coming back. Do you remember the Campbell Street Station? Yes, I remember. I know my sister really remembers. She's older than me. That's all. That's why. Sorry, Kathy. Anyway, the Campbell Street Station reunion party coming to Sarnia this February the 20th. And Good Question, were landmark performers there at the Campbell Street Station for many years, going to be performing there along with a Bon Jovi tribute and also an 80s metal tribute. So pretty cool stuff. But we caught up with Good Question and talked about the past and what we can expect to see from them. So now let's go to the entertainment scene and talk about Good Question. This week on the entertainment scene, getting ready for a reunion party coming down to the Campbell Street Station, the 5th annual Campbell Street Station reunion party, and a blast from the past with these guys. Good Question is here. How are you doing today, guys?
Awesome. Just great.
You guys getting excited, getting worked up for the reunion party coming down?
I'm excited. Good Question has been rocking for 27 plus years.
Long time. Well, let's before we get started, why don't you, Doug Stewart, you going to go around and introduce everybody here for us.
Chris Joyce, my musical partner forever. Brian, Chris's brother.
Yeah.
And pretty much my brother.
Yeah,
we've been in Good Question forever. Our drummer Mason is snowbound in London right now, so he can't join us right now, but this is his studio behind us, so he's kind of here.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to doing the 5th annual Campbell Street Station.
Going to be lots of fun. I mean, now Good Question has seen some different changes over the years. One in particular, we were talking about Brian, actually. What's the story there, how Brian came into all this?
Brian, actually, it's a great story. We've had many guitar players and drummers and everything else throughout the years, but we've always survived thick and thin. And we had a guitar player that couldn't play on a Wednesday night, the eve of our Campbell Street Station gig, and Brian happened to just come off the road with one of the many bands he's toured with. Yeah. Hey, Brian, would you like to learn 50 songs in 12 hours?
And you had to get a hold of him, like, there were no cell phones and stuff, so it wasn't like a quick text.
My cell phone was this big.
Yeah.
Called Brian, he goes, yeah, okay. So we did sound check the next night at the Campbell Street Station, and there were 400 people there.
Awesome. And how did that work? How did that work for you? Like, that's a lot of pressure.
No, it was actually great. A lot of the songs I was kind of familiar with from the radio and so on, and I'd played with these guys in Viper since I was 17 years old, so we're going way back to the old days.
That's how we got in Viper, was our guitar player quit.
That's true. Actually, I forgot about that.
There you go.
So obviously I'm a fill-in. I wasn't their first choice, but it's been fun.
But you've played. I mean, Brian, I'll say it for you. You're a great guitar player. You're
thanks,
very good at picking things up. But 50 songs, like that's a lot.
Well, I think it was more like 30.
Yeah, okay. And you fake the rest, maybe?
Ish. Yeah.
Now, what are we going to see down there? I mean, I know. I remember my days of seeing Good Question, right, to the station, to the Duke d'Orleans cruises. And so I have an expectation of what I want to see from Good Question. And you guys probably understand what the fans are looking for. But some of that and some new, too?
The most difficult thing for us is taking that perhaps 800 songs and trying to narrow them down and figure out what we're going to do. We're going to do some AC/DC. We're going to do some Tainted Love and some of our crowd favorites. Maybe the newest thing would be like the Black Keys, which we didn't do obviously back in the day because the Black Keys weren't born yet.
Right.
But we are pulling out Castaway by My Sex.
Isn't there, because there's somebody in particular that really likes that song, right?
Tony Marshall.
Yeah,
this is all about Tony Marshall, really. This whole gig is about Tony. And Henry Lee Summers, Wish I Had a Girl That Walked Like That. So we've been working hard at some Van Halen, some... It's fun.
It's a good question as to what they will play, right? That's what we've been saying. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. I know you're one of 3 acts that are going to be there. Bon Jovi Forever, they're called, a tribute to Bon Jovi, of course, and Leather Snake, right? They're going to be there, 80s metal tribute. So it really is going to be taking us back to the Campbell Street Station days.
The old days. We played there 2 years ago for the 3rd annual, and there were people at the door at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so get there early.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. It was like 1990.
Yeah, right.
And we're hoping so.
It's going to be great again. Thanks, guys, again for your time. We're looking forward to Good Question coming to the 5th annual Campbell Street Station reunion party. And let's go back to the studio and tell you how you can get your tickets in advance. All right, here we go. All right, well, thanks, guys. Good Question. There is Doug Stewart, Chris, and Brian Joyce. And we're looking forward to seeing them on February the 20th at the 5th annual Campbell Street Station reunion party, along with an 80s metal band. And there's going to be a Bon Jovi tribute there. And here's the bonus. Funny man, comedian from London, Ontario, coming here to Sarnia at Rustic on February the 27th. So buy a ticket for $12 for the reunion party, and then you get a ticket to go see Jeff Leeson. That's a $10 value. So 4 great acts coming to a great place to party and have a whole lot of fun, great music, and great laughter. I guarantee Jeff Leeson, one of my favorite comedians from around this area. So looking forward to that. Thanks, guys, and we will see you at the 5th annual Campbell Street Station reunion party. All right, well, now let's go out into the community. It's Men Who Cook happening once again in support of the Huron House Boys Home. And Marty Raaymaker and Jay Harris have been participating in Men Who Cook for several years. And they're doing something similar again this year, donating a nice prize. And we went down to the cheese store and talked to them about a great prize that's going to be won at the Men Who Cook in support of the Huron House Boys Home. So now let's go out into the community. We'll be right back. This week out in the community, getting ready for a special event, once again in support of the Huron House Boys Home. We're here at the cheese store with Jay Harris and Marty Raaymaker. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here.
Hi. Thanks a lot, Dave. Thanks.
And
Thanks, Dave.
you're regular participants of the Boys Home event, but you're participating, but you're going to kind of relax this time. Tell us what's happening, Marty.
Yeah, I've been involved pretty well since the start out there with Men Who Cook, and Jay's been there for at least 5 or 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
And I think out of the past 6 years, we've done actual cooking ourselves for the live auction, but this year we're going to take a sabbatical from that. However, the cheese store is donating a dinner here. Jay can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we're going to be donating. We've done it in the past. We've done a dinner for 8. We've done a dinner for 10. This year we're going to do a dinner for 8 people here at the cheese store.
Right.
We're going to have a special guest chef come in and actually do all the food preparation. It's going to involve some wine and some good food, and I think everyone really enjoys that evening.
And if I think I know both you gentlemen, when you put something on, the word fun is involved in these things as well. You like to laugh and have a good time.
We tend to have a good time ourselves. That's part of the, that's part of the enjoyment of the
You're
whole
kind of
thing.
part of the prize, aren't you?
Well, I don't know if that's really true, but
This year might just be a guest appearance. Maybe
Yeah, there you
open up
go.
a bottle of wine or two.
Let me ask you another question, gentlemen. I know both of you are often participating in community events and giving back. What is it in particular about this Boys Home event that attracted you to wanting to support it?
For me, it started out, some of my buddies were doing it, and then got to know some of the people at the Boys Home there, and really it's about the passion of the people there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a great cause for the community, and I know some kids that have gone through the program there, so it has a little bit more meaning there too.
Right.
So.
Jay, what about you?
I think just always been a big foodie, so I wanted to get involved in an event, and Huron House Boys Home is just an absolutely great organization to help raise funds for and keep the great programming going that they do.
Right. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time here.
Okay,
and
Dave.
looking forward to seeing you at the Boys Home Men Who Cook coming up February the 28th. I'll be there as well as your MC and trying out some of the food. I got to lose weight before we get there, right? Let's go back to the studio and we'll talk some more about what's happening at the Huron House Boys Home Men Who Cook.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, Marty Raaymaker, Jay Harris, thank you so much for having us into your store. The cheese store is located on Michigan Ave in Point Edward, and Jay and Marty, they gave me some cheese, and I was gonna bring it here on the show, but I ate it already. So it was really, really good. So they've got all kinds of great cheese down there, and these guys are very generous. I know whoever wins that prize for dinner for 8 is going to have a blast, and looking forward to seeing Marty and Jay down at the Men Who Cook. About 40 different chefs and cooks from all different ethnic backgrounds, and just guys who like to cook, local businessmen. It's going to be so much fun. It is already sold out. I will be there. I'm going to be the MC. They're going to have a vocal impressionist there. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So once again, Marty Raaymaker, Jay Harris, thanks for your time, and we'll see you at Men Who Cook on February the 28th. All right, well, Space Nuts. Yeah, Spaceballs. You remember that movie, Spaceballs? Anyway, if you like space stuff, you're going to want to take a look at this. Here's Apps with Mark Russell.
Thanks, Dave. Space, the final frontier. This week we look at the NASA app on Apps with Mark Russell. The NASA app serves as a gateway to the latest news from the world's premier space agency. The app provides access to a huge amount of information about NASA, its many missions, and the cosmos, delivered via stories, videos, live webcasts, and more. Come explore with NASA and discover the latest images, videos, mission information, news, featured articles, tweets, NASA TV, and featured content with the NASA app. The app contains over 14,000 images and lets you see the latest news stories. Stay up to date with the latest on-demand NASA videos from around the agency and current NASA mission information. Feel connected with live streaming of NASA TV, live streaming video from the high-definition Earth viewing experiment aboard the ISS, as well as launch information and countdown clocks. With the NASA app, you can keep track of the International Space Station, view current passes, and get alerts when it will be overhead. You can also see current visible passes for other missions, like Fermi, High Note, or Hubble, and find the space station and other Earth-orbiting satellites using the tracker. Stay connected with NASA's social media with links to Twitter feeds from around the agency and Facebook Connect. It also has the schedule for NASA TV and NASA-related programming on other TV channels. You can plan your vacation with the NASA app. It has maps, information, and links to all the NASA visitor centers. The NASA app is available for free on Android and iOS. This has been Apps with Mark Russell.
Very cool. Mark Russell, always got something neat to share with us here on the show. Mark, I appreciate your efforts here every week on the show. If you'd like to talk to Mark Russell, say thank you, or just talk to him about some cool stuff, just send him an email to info@markrussellsarnia.com. And as always, Mark, we will see you next week. I never know till about Tuesday what's going on, so you guys are just as surprised as me, so look forward to that. All right, it's local events calendar time. You know what to do. Turn up the volume and take a look. Here we go. All right, well, thanks everybody who contributes to the local events calendar here on the show. If you'd like to contribute your event absolutely free here on the show, send it to me, the show at davidburrows.ws, and send it to me as soon as you have information about your event. I try to come up. Why don't you guys send me something? So I'm not saying the same thing every week. You guys send me a way to say that. Anyway, send it to me 2 to 3 weeks in advance to the show at davidburrows.ws, and we'll get your event up here. Just a couple things I want to mention that are very important. We got a lot of sponsors here in the show now, and very thankful. But I want to say one in particular. I want to say thanks to AG Graphics, AskGuy.ca, Guy Langevin and Kevin Thorne and all the staff down there. They do car wraps. They do great big banners. They do big truck wraps, posters. They've done all the great big banners and posters for Indie Fest and for here on the show and graphic design. So thank you to everyone down at AG Event Graphics for all their support. Check them out online at askguy.ca and tell them I said hello. Also, coming up, do you know somebody in the community who is a volunteer and you would like to nominate them for a prize? In fact, a $2,000 cash prize. It's called the Mackenzie Volunteer Prize, and it's put on by JD Booth from lampsandshield.com, and you can nominate someone you think deserves to have $2,000 donated to their organization that they volunteer for. Now, it could be an individual doing something in the community, or it could be someone who's a part of an organization, but someone you feel deserving to have $2,000 donated to their cause. So simply go to lampsandshield.com and you'll see Mackenzie Volunteer Prize on the main page. Just click on that and fill in the information of the person you think deserves to be nominated. And coming up on next week's show, JD Booth from lampsandshield.com will be here to talk about the Mackenzie Volunteer Prize, which is going to be happening in April out in Petrolia. So check that out at lampsandshield.com, and I think that's it for this week. That's all the time I got for you now. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye-bye for now.